And we will begin this course with some poems from Emily Dickinson. Now, Emily Dickinson, aside from the undeniable influence, posthumous influence of her poetry, she's also pretty notorious as an individual. She came from a prominent Amherst, Massachusetts family, the prosperity coming from the father's being a lawyer. And the best thing, probably the best known thing about her is that after school, her school consisted of Amherst Academy and a year at the Mount Holyoke Female Seminary. After this, apparently that was all she could stand in terms of sociability. She lived as a recluse, almost never leaving the Dickinson family home, or rather the homestead, the land on which she and her brother and other family members lived, far apart, of course, on their own little estates. She remained close with her family, particularly her brother, and maintained several friendships via correspondences or letters, most notably with the Boston writer and critic Thomas Wentworth Higginson, who eventually and posthumously, that is, after she died, published her poems with the help of another of Emily's friends, Mabel Todd Loomis. And Mabel Todd Loomis certainly had an unusual relationship with the family because she was Emily's brother's mistress. Only the tragedy here is that only 7 of her poems were published and anonymously during her lifetime, so she enjoyed none of the influence that we take for granted today. Now, of course, the collected poems of Emily Dickinson include 1,775 poems, and not all of those reached print until 1955. Now, her poetry itself, she uses eccentric punctuation, especially dashes indicating emphasis and interruption, because what she's trying to mimic in her poems is something that anticipates the fragmentary nature of American modern poetry in the early 20th century. She's trying to capture not just words, but thoughts, the fragmented way in which thoughts and images shoot through the mind. Highly influenced by the English Romantics, especially John Keats, and the early Victorian poets like Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Her poetic subject matter, is a mixture of depth, uncompromising truth, and playful humor. And how she fits in with the American dark romanticism I've already discussed, again, like Poe, Hawthorne, and Melville, is that in her poems, rather than there being a transcendence or a salvation gained from some otherworldly experience, which is typical of romanticism, it disturbingly falls short of salvation, whether it be in terms of uncertainty or damnation when it comes to the afterlife. And also in doing so, her poems mock the false comforts that sweet, picturesque imagery might provide. In that way, it's using the tone of romanticism to not sound very expectedly romantic at all. Okay. Dickinson tends to be a favorite and a great little starting point, so I look forward to the responses to the prompts on the discussion board. Good luck.